Again, this is Julie, and we're going through a series of tutorials on how to find some information, put that information into a referencing software, which we're using EndNote, and now we're going to look at how we use that referencing software to embed the literature that we sourced earlier. So we're on video number 3. So this is Word, and as you can see, we have a blank page, and I'm now going into EndNote, and I'm using a Mac, but it's similar on a PC, so there's very little difference. All right, so we need to write a sentence, and then we're going to support it with literature. So this is a sentence I prepared earlier, and I want to show that I read that leadership is essential when developing an organization, and I read it in various articles, etc. So let's have a look. So first of all, I put a space after that sentence, and I'm going to find an article. So I'm going to have a look at inserting a citation here. And what we're going to do is bring it in from EndNote. It's taking a little bit of a while because I've got so much open at the moment, unfortunately. So let's, normally is quicker than this. Let's decide to go slowly. Okay, here we go. So let's have a look at who would have said that. So we can have a look by, if you know the article, then you can have a look in here. So let's find one. So Ahmed, I know, was one of ours that we looked at earlier. So I'm just going to put that name in. And Jacob was one I was looking for earlier for something else. So this is in my tutorial EndNote. So it's found this article, and that's the one I want to use. So I click Insert. Okay, so as you can see, it's already started building my list of references. So I might just put references here. And I'll just change that to a heading so I know. I like to build that as I go. And this, imagine, is a question 1. Build that one, just put a heading reference, put a space. And let's have a look. So I'm going to see here, I've got the authors are all listed. Okay, and what it's actually done is it's set it up in a different style. So I'm just going to bring up my EndNote and have a look what's happening. So I think, well, why isn't it doing APA 7? So I need to change it to the APA 7 style. So what I have to do is go along and change to APA 7. So if you don't know, I go APA 7. I want output styles APA 7. So I can see I go to Tools, Output Styles APA 7, and I'm going to check that. Tools, Output Styles APA 7, just double check. Okay, it's fine, and you can see there's the articles we were using. Now what I'm also going to do, I'm just going to click these because I want to do a multiple reference in a second. So I can highlight and choose my multiple references here. So let's go back to our Word document. Okay, check here, EndNote. Now notice it's on APA 6, so you have to change it to APA 7 manually. So go into here, APA 7, and you'll see it's changed. So now, using the APA 7 style, we don't list all the authors anymore. In the APA 6, what used to happen is the first time you cited, it would go to list all the authors, and then the second time it would break it down to et al. And it didn't list them all. But for this one, it does it automatically with the APA 7, so make sure you've checked your settings. Okay, so as I said, for the next sentence though, innovative behaviour must be encouraged in a world where change is part of everyday life. So I think, well, I didn't just read it in one, I read it in several. So there's a couple of ways I can do it. I can go Insert Citation, Insert Selected. So I've already gone into EndNote and I've selected the articles that it's in. So I can do it that way. And it's put them all in, and note how it started producing all my sources. The other way to do it, I'll just take this out and I'll show you, is to go through and go Insert Citation, do it this way, and we'll have a look, and we'll go through, and we're not sure which ones, so we're going to think, where did we get those? Who was citing which articles? So we know it was one. We'd have to know the different authors. So you can look. I'm just going to quickly have a look at those. So I might say, well, I'll get the select gal, and we'll click this one, and it's put that one in. Then I think I'll add another one. So I highlight, and I click Insert Citation, and I'm going to insert another one. Again, I just need to have a look to see which one, and I'm going to use cruise. Click Insert, or click Search, sorry, first. Enter, brings up cruise. Insert that one. So it's now put the second one, and I also wanted aldehyde. So I'll go back up here, go put my cursor in the bracket, insert citation, and I'm going to put aldehyde, and it's brought it up. Click insert, and the full stop is placed after it. So I'm starting to show that I've read a number of different articles just on this topic, so I'm citing as I go. Now, if I had actually decided to copy something, and let's imagine I've decided I want to use a direct quote. Now, I don't recommend using direct quotes. I think you should try and write in your own words and find other sources. But for the sake of this exercise, I'm going to put that there are many factors that enhance innovative work behavior. Okay, so let's look at that. So I'll put, it should be noted that, and I put quotation marks around, that many factors that enhance the innovative work behavior of employees should be noted. Should be considered. I just want to write that. So I'm sort of blending. Now this bit is taken from somewhere else. So there's a couple of ways I can do this, and I've taken this from our article by Ahmed Fathi Al-Heed and colleagues. So I'm going to have to cite that. So it should be noted, many factors that enhance the innovative work behavior employees should be considered. So I want to show this. Now I can write it this way and I can embed it here, but I'm actually going to put that these particular authors said this. So I'm going to take this out and I'm going to change it. I'm going to insert a citation. Now I don't recommend that you cite the same author all the time. I'm purely doing this as an exercise to show you how to do it. So I found Al-Heed and I insert. Okay, now this now is incorrect because I need to take the author out of the brackets. So I click on here and I edit and manage the citation, and I'm going to change it excuse me, to display as an author and a year, and include that. And now I'm saying this person and his colleagues in 2021 said this. So Al-Heed proposed that many factors that enhance the innovative work behavior of employees should be considered. Now it's a direct quote, but the quotation marks around. I also need the page number, so I go back into my edit manage citation, and this time I find the page number that it's actually on, and in this case it's on page 239. So I click OK. So now I'm saying that these authors on this year, on page 239, wrote this. So I'm acknowledging the author, and that's correct. Now imagine I've written a little bit more, and now I want to show that I've been discussing creativity. So creativity is an important aspect of leadership. So I'm continuing on, and I've decided to write something else. Now I watched a YouTube on this, so I'm going to say, I'll mention YouTube. Now, and YouTube is not an academic source. However, we can still say that we heard it on YouTube. There's nothing wrong with that, unless you've been told to use only peer-reviewed articles, then you can't use the video. But for this one, we're going to imagine we are, and we're going to insert a citation. We know it was by Ken Robinson, so it's going to come up in a second. As I say, it's a bit slow because I've got a couple of things up while I'm recording. But we find the article now on Ken Robinson, so the article on YouTube, and we're going to insert that. Okay, so we click Ken Robinson, we type in. We know we haven't got that many on Ken Robinson, so I'm just going to pick this. It should come up in a second. Just looking for it. It is faster when you're not recording like I am with several pages open. So we click Insert. So it's got Robinson, it's got the author, the year, and it's also presented it correctly in our list of references. So it's building this as we go, and it knows to put it in the correct alphabetical order. It's indenting, it's presenting all the information I need. Okay, and I also put my full stop afterwards. Now, if we were talking about research methods, and I wanted to enhance that, mention something about research methods, and I've got my textbook, just so you can see the reference, I'm going to put various research methods were referred to while conducting this study. And I'm going to put one such method was to conduct a survey, I'll put an interview with leaders using a qualitative approach. And then I want to put that I read about qualitative approaches in this textbook. So the qualitative approach was discussed I spelled that incorrectly, sorry. Qualitative approach was discussed by Sekaran and Berge. So I want to reference that book. It doesn't like to, but I'm not worrying about the sentence structure for this. I'm just showing you how to insert a reference. So insert citation, and we're going to find that citation. And again, we can just put the first name in. It will find it for us. And then we can put the year in. I need to put that year in for the textbook that we read it from. And it is, again, it's a little bit slow, but we'll get there. Sekaran. I'm just putting the first few letters in. Insert. It's going to bring it up for me. Again, it will not go this slow when you're doing this normally. It's just because I'm recording the screen as I go. Okay, that's the textbook I want. Go to Insert. And this time, I don't want the authors in. Okay, but it has put the correct reference in. But let's take this and change it. So there's a couple of things you can do. So I can either do it this way. I can do a default and write it as the author year. Press OK. And then remove this. That's one way to do it. Put the full stop after it. Or I'll just undo. I can enter, edit, manage citation, and I can change it to exclude the author because I've already written it, and put the full stop afterwards. So that's basically how you use EndNote to demonstrate your references. So you've got a standard one here, we're citing an author with several scholars who have written the author. It starts with the et al. We've got another example here where we've done a multiple listing, so we've got semicolons between the two there. We've got, and I recommend only going up to about 3 authors as a max. Don't go 5, 6, 7, you don't need to. We've got one here where we've shown how to cite the author, the year with a page number for a direct quote that needs quotation marks. We've got another one where we're citing a YouTube. Remember, the full stop comes afterwards, not before. And we've got another one where we've embedded the textbook, and we can see how the reference list should be presented. Okay, I hope you can practice some of this, bring in that literature. On the next one, I'm going to show you how I use a spreadsheet to start presenting some of the literature that I find. So that will be on video number 4. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next video.